So under semester project, I have the XREF folder. Where you got the existing features and the topo. You bring those in. Log back in. So under semester project, I have a folder for XREFs. I have all of these. You should at least have these two. These others, you can use as a starting point, like for your legend, if you want to. If you want to create your own, that's fine. But what I also did under semester project, if you haven't found it, I created a CAD file EXF. Okay. The EXF I gave you as a PDF file, but I also gave you the original CAD file. Okay. The reason that's helpful is because if you open CAD, launch CAD, what I did was the existing features plan is this C2.0 existing features. Okay. Usually the site plan is the next sheet that follows the existing features plan. So I just did a save as of the existing features plan and called it site plan with my initials. This is what I want you to do with your CAD. It's spelled out in the instruction sheet, but I'm going to open this save as. It's just a copy of it with a different name. You'll get this error. For starters, just ignore it and let the drawing open up. You see how there's a bunch of it looks like missing stuff, and then this warning down here. This is the stuff that it's not finding. Okay. If it asks you about pay information, just detach that. That's for cost estimating. That's outside of what we're going to do. Okay. Will you eventually get there? Possibly, depending upon who you work for when you leave here and what they're, the way they do things. But let's talk about your plan that you're going to turn in. Some people had trouble with the sheet setup and stuff like that. So I did this. Okay. So if you type XREF, right, you'll see that there's some stuff here that it couldn't find. Okay. See how it's saying it can't find the SIR, and it can't find topo, it can't find other things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click one that it couldn't find. And then down here under the bottom where it says saved path, you have to have it selected in the upper half. And then down in this lower half of the block, if you click on found at, if you hit save path, you'll get these three little dots. If you click on that, you can repath it to wherever you're working. Okay, so wherever you downloaded your stuff, right, and hit Sir. And I'm also going to do the same thing with my title. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to bother with the title block. But the title block's in there and it will appear. Okay, you see how the Sir appeared down below here? The soils types, you're not really going to need those for your map. So you can just erase that. Right. And these notes, you don't need those. You don't need these. In fact, you don't even need these two viewports. You can just make one viewport and expand it to what you need. Now, if your drawing title block is smaller than this, okay, you can change the scale of it to get it to fit the sheet. Everybody sees how this sheet is set up so that it all fits on one sheet for you. Okay. Right now I'm in paper space. If I switch over to model space, right, and I go back to XREF, pick a spot up here where there isn't anything, right click, go to attach drawing. I'm going to attach my topo. It'll think for a minute. Now you want to tell it overlay. You want to tell it that your scale is going to be 1, and you want your base point to always be 0, 0, 0. Okay. It has to be consistent across all of them, otherwise it's going to put stuff in a different place or a different frame of reference. Okay. I'm going to hit OK. And then there's my topo. I'm also going to load my site plan. Okay, this, the one that I've been working on. You'll load your site plan. And if you insert it at 0, 0, there's my site plan. Okay. Switch over, I zoom in, there's my road. Right. I could spend a little time and go in here. So the one call logo, you can detach that. The inlet stuff, you can detach that. Soil table, you can detach that. The title block. Let me see if I can find one that I had from before. Now you can insert your title block as an X reference, right? Or you can insert it as a block. Same way you inserted the block for your plant types and stuff like that. Everybody sees how the picture is bigger than my title block. You have a choice. You can either modify the title block or you can modify the picture. If you select the viewport that's here already and go to properties, you'll see a couple of things about it. I have it locked So if you want to make changes to it, you're welcome to make changes to it. You just have to switch it to no. Right? So if I hit display lock no, and I change my scale to 25 scale, see how it zooms in? Well, I don't really want to do that. I want it to zoom out, but I only have one to 1, 1 to 25, and 1 to 50. Everybody remember how to get other scales? So down here on the lower part of the screen, go to custom. You can add as many as you want. 1 to 60 or 1 to 100. Just make sure you're changing your drawing units as well. Okay. So now if I click on this and I change it to 1 equals 100, word of caution, if you bump it out to 1 equals 100 and your drawing, your site X reference is at 50, and you bump this out to 100, your labels are going to be half the size of what they are in your drawing. Okay? So just be careful in the drawing that you're working. If you're going to leave this the way I have it set, okay, if you're going to leave it as a 50 scale viewport and adjust your title block, you're welcome to do that. Just make sure in the drawing that you're working in your X reference site, the one that you've been doing all your work in, you go to your tool space, not under prospector, but under settings. You go to edit drawing settings, see what your drawing scale is set to. Okay. If your drawing scale is set to 20, but this is set to 50, recognize that those labels are going to be different sizes when you bring them in. Okay. So this is set up to use, you can take the site and make this existing features plan, copy it, rename it, and use that. And then sheet's already set up. You really, all you have to do is bring in the topo, which isn't going to be there. Bring in your site and then repath the server. And it's as plug and play as I can make it, I think. Questions about this? How does everybody feel about getting this done by Wednesday? Pretty good? Okay. That's all I had for the semester project. So what's left? After today, we've got 2 weeks, right? Agreed? We've got 2 weeks left. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over with you how to create an alignment and a profile. And we're going to talk about existing versus finished grades on a profile.